All right. Good morning, everybody. We are at the top of the hour. So just make sure that I got everything silenced around me and stuff. So we are at the top of the hour. Thank you for joining me this morning on our webinar series and stuff this week and next week. Today we are discussing about becoming a social media rock star and how to use social media to get your online connections into offline business. As I always tell people, I'm not big on likes or retweets or shares or followers. I'm all about how do you build interaction when it comes to social media and social media, and utilizing social media in that aspect. Want to definitely thank you guys for joining me this morning and stuff. We'll probably be together for roughly right about an hour or so. And just want to tell you first and foremost, thank you very much. And I truly honor the fact that you're taking time out of your day, taking time away from your business to actually come in and join me today. I always tell people I truly understand what I refer to as the true value of time. And for me, anytime that I have a chance to share some time with somebody or they share some time with me, I truly honor and respect that and stuff. So let's talk a little bit about structures for today's webinar and stuff. I'm going to do a quick introduction about me. I was looking at the attendee list this morning and stuff, and I recognized some of the names, and the other names I did not recognize. So for those of you that I know that have come back in and for some awesome training and stuff, thank you so much. For those of you that shared our posts and stuff, thank you so much for sharing. For those of you that discovered us through maybe some of our social media outreaches and stuff, welcome to your first training with us and stuff. So from there, we're going to dive into 45, 60 minutes of absolutely awesome, intense training. I'm going to talk about a little bit about our next advanced training that's going to be starting January 24th. I want you to understand you do not need to worry. There is no pressure. For those of you that know me personally, you know that I also have a very strong real estate team, and I always hate what I refer to as that dangling the carrot training technique. And I think any of us that have been in any type of professional level services, or we have sales, tied into our job title and stuff, I think we've all been through those types of trainings to where you go to them, you feel like you're going to get at least one or two decent nuggets. You're going to get at least one or two good bits of information, something that you can kind of sit there and go, okay, this was worth my taking an hour away from my business or away from my family to go through this training. And it's almost like every time you get really close to that, getting that nugget, you almost feel like it gets pulled away. And then finally at the end, they talk about quote unquote their clothes, which for anywhere from what I've seen from $500 to $2,000, and normally you have to fly down to California or Las Vegas, that they'll answer all of your questions. Well, I'm not a big fan of that. I absolutely, I hate that, to be honest with you. My attitude is I would much rather give top level, in-depth content. You can go onto like our YouTube channel and stuff, and you see that, we're constantly uploading videos and stuff. We're constantly, sharing blogs and articles. We're constantly pushing content out there. And, my hopes is when you're ready to take your business to the next level or take your income to the next level, that, you look at the quality and level of content that we've already just given you, and so that we become like one of your top choices to reach out to look for some, for your own training and stuff. And if you're not ready for additional training and stuff, definitely want to make sure that you know ways to keep connected with myself and keep connected with GT Training Systems and stuff. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. This year we just launched the podcast Go Time. So we just actually released our second episode yesterday and stuff. So, subscribe to that. Also, I'm going to do, an in-depth question and answers. Any question that you have, there should be a chat box icon that somewhere on your screen and stuff. I've actually got that minimized out and stuff, so that way it doesn't distract me as I'm going through our session and stuff. But any questions that you have, whether it deals with social media, yesterday we did a training on networking and lead generation. We've got another one of those coming up next week and stuff. Tomorrow we got a question on the roadmap to the sales or the sales process. Any type of questions you have on that, any type of business development questions you have, and some of you that may also know me knows I have a very true passion for health and wellness, because I truly believe that the healthier you are, the more well that you're feeling, the more energy that you have, the higher quality of life you have. You factor those items in, it increases your ability to make an income, which at that point leads back into your energy level and stuff. So All questions that I can go in depth and deep on, I definitely will answer if I don't know the answer, because I don't consider myself the grand poobah or anything of that aspect. I definitely will let you know that I don't know the answer to that, and hopefully between you, me, and our combined resources, we can get you that answer and stuff. So with that, a quick introduction on me and stuff. I always like doing this because when I'm sitting in a webinar type of or virtual type of training like this, or if I'm sitting in a live training and stuff, I always kind of wonder, it's like, who's the person talking to me? What's their background? What are they about? What are, what are their qualifications and stuff? And for those of you that know me personally, you know that I run a real estate team here in Washington State, where I was actually voted as one of the top 10 real estate brokers of 2016 by the American Institute of Real Estate Professionals. Well, on top of that, I'm also a published author. I've published one book so far. It's titled Becoming Known as the Friend in the Business. And that all started out in the aspect of, I had a really good friend of mine that told me, Greg, I do business with you because you're my friend first, my realtor second. And something about that really, truly resonated with me. And so what I did was I actually came to my team. I said, hey, let's take this concept of real estate, which if you think about it, traditional real estate is very much a transactional type of business. If somebody wants to buy or sell a home, statistically speaking, they do it about once every 5 to 7 years, statistically speaking and stuff. And so, the real estate community has become a very transactional type of business. You want to sell a home, I can help you find a buyer and we're done. Or you want to buy a home, I can help you find a home and we're done. But I wanted to take that concept take us away from that transactional side and put us more towards the relationship side, and basically start truly building a connection, building some relationships within, becoming the friend, along with becoming the real estate broker. And so that led into us putting together a training system and stuff to where we truly worked on building relationships within our customers and our clients. So then what happened was that opened up into other realtors within my office and stuff wanted to know what we were doing. And my attitude is I come from an abundance mindset that, there isn't just so much business to go. There's an abundant amount of business to go. What makes a customer for me may not make a good customer for somebody else. So I had no problems talking to them and training with them about what we were doing and stuff. And from there led into our lending partners wanted to know what we were doing because they were getting more business coming from us. And then from there it led into the insurance producers, property and casualty insurance guys. They noticed they were putting a lot more binders connected with our names and stuff. And so from there, it actually grew into, helping me step into a speaker and trainer for multiple professional industries. So typically who I work with is what I refer to somebody that does a professional level service where they have to provide a top-notch professional service to their customer or to their clientele, but they're also in charge of doing their own marketing and doing their own lead generating and basically their own finding and discovering of their customers so they can actually work. Key element I want you to understand here is what I am not. And what I am not is just purely a trainer. I know a lot of people out there, a lot of trainers out there that's all that they do. And kind of what they, what's on their side is they hear something really cool, or they think of something that's really cool, or they read about something that's really cool and they say, hey, let's throw this into a training session. And they've never tweaked it or perfected it or worked with it. So, what they're basically teaching on is on theory and stuff. Well, on my side of the industry and stuff, what we do is when we come across something, we'll take it into our real estate team and we'll work with it there. And we'll play with it there, for lack of a better word. And then from that aspect, we take it into our training company. We start working within our clientele that, we work with obviously people in the real estate community, people in what I call the independent medical community. So like dentists and chiropractors, massage therapists, we work with attorneys, CPAs. So we take it into these other industries and stuff, and we work with them on that aspect. But, what it boils down to is we're not teaching purely on theory. I practice what I preach. So everything that I'm telling you that we're doing today, we do on a regular basis. And so, I mean, right alongside with you, I hate the term small business owner. Everybody knows that and stuff, but, because there's nothing about me that wants to see, wants to have a small business. But I mean, I am absolutely referred to as kind of like that local business owner and stuff. I'm not that big brand, that name brand all across the U.S. and stuff, but I definitely am a local person. So with that, how do you get the most out of today's webinar? What I've discovered is those who get the most out of the webinar and stuff, they turn off all the distractions. They shut down their cell phones. They turn off their emails. They unplug from everything else, spend an hour with, let's spend an hour together and go really, really in depth and stuff. My attitude is if I have a phone call or an email, something can wait, the hour or less for us to respond back to. Now, the building catches fire, obviously that's a different aspect and stuff, but I mean, outside of that, I try to turn off as many distractions, both, when I'm giving a session and also when I'm a student of a session. I always recommend get out a pen and paper to take notes. I discovered that it never to trust my memory for my future income and stuff. And I always recommend, I mean, it's like anytime that I'm a student and stuff, I actually have a journal that I always take with me. And, so that way I can always make sure if something is said, I can take great notes and stuff. As I tell people, listen fast because I talk fast. We are recording today's session. As long as technology works with us, we'll be uploading this within the next 24 hours into our YouTube channel. And, I always use that disclosure and stuff because it's almost like Murphy's Law. If I never say anything about, as long as technology works with us, I bet you it'll be the time that we actually, something happens within our uploading or downloading process. But I fear if I bring it up, Murphy's Law, we'll always get a really good, clean recording and stuff. All right. So let's get into the meat of the material here. And I want you to think about it. What is truly social media? And so, I mean, the best definition that I could come across is any website that is being used to bring together and connect people with a shared interest. Now, types of social media out there. I mean, everybody knows kind of what I call the biggies and stuff. Everybody knows about Facebook, which is more developed for, kind of keep friends and family connected. Everybody knows about LinkedIn, which is more of keeping a professional level connected. Interest, I actually need to update this because Google Plus has gone more towards the business side and stuff. But I mean, interest, items like Pinterest is really big out there. But what I also discovered in some of our research is there's a lot of industry-specific social media sites. And then there are also a lot of recreational specific social media sites, so I mean, there are social media sites and stuff for real estate brokers, for those of us that want, I mean, I sit on a mastermind that is actually, that uses social media and stuff, on top of our connections and stuff, just so that we can kind of share things back and forth in recreational specific. I met one of my best friends actually through a scuba diving, social media website and stuff. So, I mean, there's a lot of different social media websites out there. I one time asked somebody that was a self-proclaimed guru of the social media world, how many different social media websites are out there? And she could not answer the question, which I'm, in all honesty, I don't think anybody could. Just because, I mean, it's like I've seen variations anywhere from 3,000 and on up. I think there's more different types of social media websites out there than we can all personally be captured into and stuff. And, I don't want you to feel like you need to be on every single social media platform out there possible. I want you to kind of figure out what works best for you and what works best for you, what your customers and clientele is on, and how do you work, and how do you work on staying connected with your customer and clientele between what works best for you and what they tend to be on. So let's talk about, pick the social media sites that you have an interest in. If you're not a scuba diver, you really don't want to, I mean, you really would have no interest in being in a scuba diving type of social media platform. Pick the social media site that your connections have an interest in. And pick the social media sites that you want to be active in. It's key element. If you are not active within a certain platform, it's just, it's almost like that will tell your customer and people out there more if you're on a platform and you're not active on it than anything else. I'll take Pinterest as an example and stuff because I actually looked at, okay, maybe we should be active in Pinterest, especially in our real estate team, because statistically speaking, we're seeing more women buyers and more women making, real estate choices within the family. But what I discovered is I'm not a big Pinterest guy. I just, I tried. I'm not a Pinterest guy. But I've got a gal that works close to me, or I got a female that works close to me. She's a Pinterest person. She loves Pinterest. I can't understand it, but she is she really gets into Pinterest and stuff. So we collaborate. We join forces and stuff. So let's talk a little bit about Facebook. Facebook to me, is a very personal, social media network. Now, I will tell you, as far as social media marketing and don't do boosting ads and stuff. That's kind of old school. You're not going to get really great return on value. Well, from what I've experienced, I have not get really great return on value on it, both in our real estate team and our training platforms and stuff. But what we do is they've got for their advertising, they have gotten really, really good at tying in the analytics and tying in, your target audience. And the reason is because Facebook has gotten really, truly in depth in the aspect of they want their customers to have a great experience. Kind of where, if we go back in time, Google ad clicks and Google AdWords were really, really great for or for SEO and for online marketing. All Google cared about was basically every time you click, their cash register went off. And Facebook is, well, granted, they want to make a profit. They're on the other side of that. They want to make sure that they're putting the ads in front of their customers that they want to see and stuff. So my recommended posting, this is going to be on your personal page, and anybody that's a personal Facebook friend of mine and stuff, you typically will see where I kind of stay pretty darn close to this and stuff. Normally, I recommend at least one thing motivational. And the reason I recommend that is think about in your office life, think about in your personal life, think about, professional or personal life. It's really easy to find people that are drama. It's really easy to find those Debbie Downers out there and stuff. And notice that the only people that ever want to hang around the Debbie Downers are the people that that are also Debbie Downers too. But you throw something motivational out there and people like that. People get attracted to that and stuff. And so, I always throw the motivational out there. It's actually two-part. Number one, for me, it's one of the first things I do. It's part of my morning routine and stuff. It's one of the first things that I do is I push out something motivational because, partly for me. And then also in the other aspect of, if it helps bring just a little bit of light or goodness into somebody's life and stuff, then to me, that's the second win that I get out of it. And it's funny, I have more people interact with me and respond to me on my motivational style posts than a lot of other things and stuff. And then also in the aspect of, still talking about your personal Facebook page, I'll talk about 1 to 2 personal items about me per day. Interest, family, these are just, if you think about it, if somebody's connected with you on Facebook, it's probably because they want to know a little bit more about you personally. They want to be a little bit more connected to you personally and stuff. And then if I do anything professional, I'll have one professional style post, but it's typically a non-salesy post. I refer to this a little bit as what I call the concept of nudge marketing. Now, nobody likes to be aggressively marketed to. Nobody aggressively think about it. People like to buy, they hate to be sold. You go into a department store, somebody asks you, can I help you find anything? What's most people's knee-jerk reaction? No, I'm just fill in the blank, looking. So what we want to do is we want to kind of gently remind people, you want to stay top of mind of people of things that you do. You want to kind of gently, what I call, nudge them. So this is where, I may talk about a little bit, I may, by my real estate team, which is typically where most of our Facebooks, a lot of my personal Facebook stuff is in our real estate world. I'll take a picture of a house and, something like just listed or pending inspection. My favorite pictures, and the ones that I see that really get trending and really get a lot of attention, is kind of when we have the closing, and my start off as my customers or clients now have become my friends, and they've received their keys. And I love it when we are able to get a picture of all of us together and stuff. And man, that really, those just really resonate and stuff with people. But I mean, it's nothing. I mean, I see other real estate brokers and stuff that are constantly putting out there in their Facebook and stuff. It's like, remember me for when you wanted to sell your home, or a person that was wearing a beanie cap that says, "I sell houses." I mean, it's a little bit kind of, to me, it's a little bit kind of pushy. And don't get me wrong, I will always appreciate somebody that will go out and market themselves and promote themselves, but that always needs a little bit more pushy than, I just like doing the little nudge marketing. It's like, hey, remember me, I happen to be in this business. So your business fan page, your business page or your fan page, I mean, you want us to definitely tie in some motivational stuff, definitely tie in your successes. And you kind of want to keep it more professional. And really, for the most part, social media, I think anybody that's on this call today or on this conference today and stuff, we all understand the concept of keeping your social media sites professional and stuff. Most industries in the Facebook world, it's a great place, as we talked about, great place to run your advertising. I discovered it's in the industry, it's referred to as a splash page. It's not, instead of boosting a post, which all a boosting a post does is it just kind of puts it, from what I understand, everybody within a certain market. And keep in mind, if you're listening to this recording and stuff next year, the rules may have changed. But what a splash page does is when you click on something in Facebook and it takes you from that, from Facebook, and it puts you into a new web browser on somebody else's website. Kind of what I refer to it as, I get them temporarily out of the social media sandbox and I get them into my sandbox. And my sandbox is my website and stuff. Also within Facebook, connect with groups. Look for groups that you want to be active in. Look for groups that you have an interest in, or look for groups that you can have a tie in and stuff. Anytime you hear me take a quick pause and stuff, I'm probably grabbing a quick drink of water and stuff here. So now that we talked about the personal world, let's jump into the business world, the LinkedIn, the professional world. LinkedIn back in the day kind of became, for the most part, the digital resume service. And what it has morphed over into the years and stuff has actually become one of the best databases and contact management, one of the more better contact management style systems out there I've seen in a very, very long time. I've actually seen some really great things happen with LinkedIn, and actually in LinkedIn, we both work both on the real estate team and on the training side. We have utilized LinkedIn to, first and foremost, build some really great connections. I've also used LinkedIn also to help create connections with people that I may not have already a direct tie or direct know into. So definitely you want to keep, tie in some, for your posting and stuff, tie in some motivational stuff. Tie in your business successes. And kind of a very, very key element here is put in there any type of volunteer or community involvement that you do or that you're involved in. It is one of the things I've noticed as, we're now in the generation, and we've probably got some, quote unquote millennials, on the program with us today. But one of the things I've discovered is with the millennial generation is they also have a true calling, or they want to do business with those companies that actually care. And so, I mean, if all a particular company cares about is the bottom line or the income revenue and, the bringing the money in and keeping their expenditures low, that really does not resonate with a good chunk of the buying population now. And if you think about it, we have now crossed over into the year where the entire millennial generation is now above the age of 18. So, this is now we have the entire generation that is now, can truly 100% be just about everybody's consumer. And guess what? It's here to stay, guys. So this generation, they really want to support businesses that they know that have a community involvement, that actually care about the community and gives back to the community and stuff. And also kind of on the other flip side and stuff is most companies, most successful people I know, while we may jokingly say we pulled it up our own bootstraps and stuff, we tend to have had some help along the way. And for me personally, I find it very important for us to always kind of give back and definitely be a part of the community. And that's just good general business building skills right there too. I mean, the more active you are in the community, the more people are going to know you, the more people that are going to know you, the more they're going to like and trust you. And the more they like and trust you, the more likelihood they're going to do business with you. LinkedIn also has groups, and definitely, get active within the groups. Publish your articles to the groups, and I kind of see a mixture. As I actually was, messaging back and forth with somebody a couple of days ago that's actually on LinkedIn that's actually in Australia. She was dealing with social media. She was doing social media for her company and stuff, and she was like, what do I do with groups? And, I told her, it's like, hey, this is what I do. It's like, I will publish, if an article that I have or a blog, and right now articles is just the new word for blogs. But if it makes sense, if I feel that it makes sense to put it through the group and stuff, I'll publish it. I said, and then normally about once a day, I'll just kind of cruise through the groups and stuff, and I'll look for if anybody's put a question out there. And if I can offer any advice, I will respond to their question and stuff. So, definitely kind of, and another thing within LinkedIn and stuff, you want to make sure that your profile is like at that, I think it's that superstar or that top level, as you're looking at your, editing your profile page and stuff, you'll see in the upper right-hand corner and stuff, a little circle. And, I think it's like all-star or superstar. You definitely want to be at that level because that is what's going to get, because at that point, that basically means you have your profile complete. All right, types of motivational postings. You heard me kind of make some reference and stuff here. Here is just kind of a sample of some of the motivational posts that I have put out and stuff. I actually keep like a little file. I do a Monday motivational. Most Mondays, if I remember, it's Monday. I jokingly tell people if you know what day of the week it is, you're not busy enough. But most Mondays, I remember to push out what it's called a Monday motivational and stuff. And so here's just some of the avenues and aspects of it. Others, I subscribe to certain, pages, kind of like, Zig Ziglar's page or Anthony Robbins' page, or there's several just a keyword search in Facebook of motivational. So, I subscribe to a lot of these pages and stuff, and this is, and I see items of like this aspect. Let's talk a little bit about videos. Videos are definitely becoming the norm when we're talking about social media. And, it is, we started off with Snapchat. And a good friend of mine, it kind of surprised me. He actually has built a strong business following using Snapchat. I personally have not quite been able to, I have not gone into the Snapchat world yet and stuff. But, the rest of the social media world really took a notice of what was going on with Snapchat. And then all of a sudden you saw Periscope, which is basically a tie into Twitter. Then you started seeing like Facebook Live, and now even Instagram has videos and stuff. Probably the biggest granddaddy of them all is what we all know is YouTube. Well, YouTube is also the number 2 search engine out there. Number 1 is Google, and guess who owns YouTube? Google does. So, part of what I have done, the last handful of years is I've gotten really good with Google. Part of that was actually through YouTube. Most people will actually stop to check out a video and stuff. And videos have become even more and more easier to produce, easier to upload. Anybody with a smartphone, you now have a video camera that can, for the most part, immediately upload into YouTube. So let's think about this for a second here. Do you get customer testimonies and stuff, or client testimonies and stuff? How about you take a quick recording of them and then you upload them to YouTube? And instead of calling them testimonies, because I want you to think for a moment, if you call it testimonies, that's our language. That's the business owner language. That's the industry language. You know, let's talk about, or I'm sorry, referrals and stuff, or, that's our language and stuff. But when you upload them and stuff, tie in the keyword of recommendations. This is why I recommend this, physical therapy place. This is why I recommend this chiropractor. This is why I recommend this attorney, because that's what the general consumers, that's kind of their language and stuff. And then, if you really want to get into tied into social media and stuff, you can do like a green screen, software, camera, and a wireless mic. You can get everything in there for probably altogether $500 to $750. It's becoming more and more affordable and more cost effective. And I'm seeing a huge upswing in stuff. We'll take like our podcast, for example. My preferred method of having a guest on the podcast is actually doing a video conference call and stuff. And I noticed that our numbers in YouTube will actually supersede our numbers in Podbean. Now, key element when you want to do with videos and stuff, you want to make sure your sound quality is really good. So, make sure you've got, you're either really close to the camera or you've got an external microphone other than what's on the camera and stuff. Because one of the things I've noticed, and I even notice this myself when I'm checking out my, YouTube videos and stuff, because that's part of my morning routine is to have something motivational going on is, I'm okay with bad video quality. I'm not okay with bad sound quality. So the whole point of social media is to build connections, to stay in touch, and keep your relationships growing. For me, as I started out the session and stuff, I could care less about the retweets, the hearts, the likes, the shares, the followers, and all that other stuff. All that other stuff is simple garbage. And I really irritate and I kind of irk other quote-unquote social media gurus out there when I say that. And I tell people I am by far I don't consider myself to be a social media guru by any extent, any mean. And the biggest reason I say that is because social media is changing and growing so fast. I don't think one person can truly be quote unquote a guru. I can tell you what I do. I can tell you what we do that works really well. And I can tell you what we have tweaked and we have done through the course of the years and stuff. But what I've discovered is the more that I interact with people on social media, the better my connections come into in that aspect. And the better my connections come into in that aspect is when in that aspect is when I can start seeing when I need to reach out to them, be on the phone or do a pop by and stuff, stop by their office and stuff, because I know that, from that aspect, I kind of built up that relationship, and then I can kind of see if there's a problem that I can help solve. That makes it a lot easier for me to do the phone call to them and follow up with them, as opposed to being concerned like how many retweets did I get this morning, or how many likes or shares did I get on this post. So how to grow your social media, or how to grow your business with social media. First and foremost, I want you to concentrate on creating a relationship. Don't worry about the amount of connections or the amount of friends you have. It is, while I personally have never bought Twitter followers or Instagram followers, I know I have friends that have. And, the reason they do is because it's called the concept of social proofing. You check out somebody's Twitter profile and they have 10,000 followers. A lot of people must like them. So you give them some social proof and stuff. Well, the consumers become more and more educated in that aspect. And so if somebody goes like, well, let me go take a look at some of your followers. And at 10, if you have 10,000 fake followers and only 50 real followers, they're going to be looking at those 10,000s a lot. They're going to be, just by statistics, they're going to be seeing, your fake followers quite a bit more than your real followers. And they may, let me take a look at this person. Oh, wait a second. They have no posts. They're following 20 million people and they have 2 followers. That's a fake account. And there's actually even I actually saw there's a software or there's a Twitter app and stuff where you can actually run and see the percentages of somebody's fake followers versus real followers. And realizing social media was designed to build a community. Social media is kind of one of the ways that we've really kind of come to build our community and to kind of talk, communicate with everybody now. If you think about it, let's go back in time for those of us that can remember neighborhoods 20, 30 years ago. I mean, it was not uncommon that you knew your neighbors. You knew your neighbors well. You had block parties with your neighbors. If your neighbor had a party, you were invited to your neighbor's party. Well, now there's even a website out there, because social media website / social media type of platform. I think it's called Nextdoor, something like that. I saw that now if you live in a certain area of the city and stuff, you live in with a neighborhood, now it's become kind of that platform of how you communicate with your neighbors and stuff. Facebook, there are tons of groups out there dealing with just communities and neighborhoods, and a lot of how neighborhoods will communicate about stuff that's going on in the neighborhood, or the HOAs will. Another really cool thing about social media, it allows for follow-up. It allows you to kind of stay connected. And think about, for those of you that, you definitely sales is part of your job description, you're part of your profession. It allows for you to be able to follow, to be able to stay connected without having to make that phone call out of the blue of, hey, you were just on my mind and I was thinking of you. Now you can kind of go check over their social media, and you could see, oh wow, look, they checked in at the gym, they checked in at a movie theater, they went to this restaurant. Now I can call them up and say, hey, I noticed that you went to this one restaurant. What did you think of it? What was it? What did you guys have? Then from there, it allows you to kind of become, instead of being a sales follow-up phone call, you're actually calling up a friend of yours, and maybe they it keeps you top of mind as far as what your business is. And always, as I tell people, look for other business opportunities. You have this approach that, approach with a servant's heart. And what I mean is, when I see okay, we'll take my real estate, team, for example, and stuff. I had some really good friends of mine that I helped them buy their home, and they were in the Air Force, and I saw that they were getting PCS. Well, I actually saw the wife was going through officer candidate school because she wanted to become a pilot. From there, it led into the PCS and stuff. So I was able to reach out to them, and I said, hey, are you looking to sell your home? Or, but I was able to reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed you're PCSing. Just want to touch base with you. Find out, are you looking at renting your home out, or are you looking at needing to sell your home? And I was actually connect them in with a property management company, because they're hoping to come back to our, the Pacific Northwest. But, by being connected with them in social media, that allowed me to kind of stay connected with them and stay connected with what's going on in their life, so that when I saw that they could potentially have a problem that I could help solve, I could help fix. And if you think about it, I mean, as we know, everybody on here probably know hundreds and hundreds of people. I think the average person knows at least 250 people. Now, out of those 250 people, do you know everybody on your, in your friends list that's a vet, that is a chiropractor, that's a realtor, that's a mortgage professional, that's an insurance person? Maybe yes, maybe no. But when you all of a sudden you find yourself in that need, but but you're not sure if you quite remember somebody, or not. Social media just kind of helps you stay connected with somebody. And when I talk about doing that little nudge marketing, not that over the top, in your face, hey, this is who I am, remember me, but that simple little nudge marketing of, this is the business that I'm in, that helps you keep top of mind, but it helps keep you in that top of mind of, in not only that a person in that profession, but a person that they feel that they know personally and they're connected to as a friend. So what are the best sites? As I said, which ones do you use? Which ones do you find that your customers are on? A lot of times part of when I'm working with a brand new person, for example, in both of my professions, I'll ask them, it's like, what's the best way for us to stay connected on social media? Which ones do you feel most comfortable using? As I brought up, Pinterest, huge within the female population. I tried it. It was not me. And what I always recommend, because myself personally, I stay pretty active within Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, if I try to take all 5 of those and jump full force, deep jump into the deep end of the pool of all 5 at once, nothing would have gotten to happen. So what I did was I actually picked first Facebook, and I got our Facebook really dialed in. I got Facebook dialed in with kind of the lists and the groups, and I got our fan pages and stuff, our professional business pages and stuff. I got our Facebook dialed in really. I did Facebook dialed in. Then I went over to LinkedIn. And I updated a lot on the LinkedIn. I got that really dialed in and stuff. So I spent a couple of weeks per platform and stuff. But that way, what that did is that allowed me to get everything kind of dialed in and then move on to the next one. So let's talk about social media fails. This is one where I also irk a little bit of quote unquote the gurus. And I mean, there's actually a certification program now that you can be certified Hootsuite provider and stuff. But using the automated system to push the same message across all the platforms. Hootsuite's probably the biggest one out there. Now, people get a little irked at me when I say this because it makes it easy. I can take one message, I can push it out to multiple different platforms. I can actually time my messages so that way I could be tweeting 20 times a day and I'm not having to actually sit there on my phone. Well, the person that is on Facebook typically falls into one type of age demographic. The person that is on Twitter, they expect to be communicated a little bit differently. The person that is on Instagram, or Snapchat. I mean, everything is, Snapchat's a bad example because it's more video stuff. But I mean, it is, if you think about it, people are on certain social media platforms, they tend to get communicated a little bit differently. Now, are there times when we take the same message and we put it across multiple platforms? Yes. Anybody that follows me, that there are times when you will see the same message kind of get put through a couple of different channels and stuff. Typically, I'll tweak it just a little bit so that way it fits within that platform. And also, I know kind of the bulk of the people we have connected with in that arena and stuff. So it's one of those how I communicate stuff through Facebook. There's a lot of similarities between Facebook and LinkedIn, but there's also some subtle differences and stuff. Not building connections, not interacting and stuff. I mean, typically, and I mean, we've all seen this and stuff. I mean, we've either done a cleansing of our Facebook list, or we've seen somebody post like, "Hey, I just cleansed out. I just cleaned out some people that are, on my Facebook list that are really, truly not people that I know anymore. So if you see this message, you made the cut." We've all seen that stuff. I mean, what happens is when you get connected, but when you become a Facebook friend, but you're not truly connected. Buying followers, likes, retweets. We've already talked about that aspect. Another thing, I keep wishing that I could take this off the slideshow and stuff. And right as I think I can take it off the slideshow, all of a sudden I see it happen out there. But what I refer to as the mass friending. I'm your Facebook friend, so now I'm going to go look at your friends. I'm going to send a friend request for everybody that you know. Unfortunately, there's 2 people that I can think of right off the top of my head that I know 3 people now that I think of it, that I know personally that have gone and done it within the last year. And, it almost feels like a little stalkerish. It almost feels, I mean, think about it for a moment and stuff. You're kind of living your life. All of a sudden, your phone chimes. You pull up your phone, pull up your Facebook app, and so wants to be your friend. And look and go, I don't know this person. Who is this person? And you go look and it's like, oh, how is this person? This person knows. Okay, this person that I know, but I don't know who this person is, and it almost feels a little stalkerish and stuff. So, and then also using content not suitable for the site and stuff. You don't want to put up your party invitation in LinkedIn unless it's kind of like an open house for your business or something of that aspect. So this is a saying that I have all around my office. This is kind of a battle cry within my team. Success is never owned. It is rented, and the rent is due daily. You have to take daily actions to achieve and keep success. All the greatest sports teams out there, they train regularly. All the greatest athletes out there, they train regularly. Every top producer performer in your industry probably has a coach or a mentor, along with a game plan that they use to stay on top of their game. It is. I love the concept. I love coaches. And I'm very specific on who I refer to as a coach, and I love masterminds because masterminds help you network with basically people that you want that are going to stretch you. They're going to take you to that next level. The number one investment I always tell people that they can make is absolutely in themselves. So I apologize for those of you that are happen to be joining us and eating lunch right now and stuff, but I mean, this is one of those pictures that, on all honesty, just really drives this point. And I tell people, are you committed or are you interested? And the first time I saw this picture, I've got a friend of mine that she was a ballerina growing up. She was a ballerina mom, and now her oldest daughter, just got hired by one of the top ballerina ballet companies on the East Coast and stuff. And I sent this picture over to her, and I was like, is this true? Because think about it. When you're sitting at the ballet, you see the dancers and stuff, you see them gracefully. I mean, it's almost like they float across the screen. It's almost like they glide and they float. It's effortless. And but what you're seeing is the end result. You're seeing that final result. It's kind of like when somebody sits down with a new client, for example, and they're doing an initial consultation and stuff, and the conversation, everything just goes effortlessly. Everything happens in perfect working order and stuff. Well, what you don't see, like within that ballerina, or you don't see within that professional, is all the hard work and all the struggles and all the bruises and all the bumps that has come along the way, and all that, what I call, is that level of commitment. So I mean, you have to kind of think for yourself now, for what you do professionally and for your business, and for where you're at, for your business, and are you committed? Are you committed to taking yourself up to the next level? Or are you just interested? Are you going to put in that action steps? Are you going to sit there and go, okay, how do we take ourselves to the next level, to the next income bracket? Or am I just, we're January 2017, the start of the year. Are we just going to set a resolution that we hope to do more business and high five each other? So let's talk a little bit about the business builder's game. And sometimes I get people upset because, hey, I understand, I'm in business. I'm a business owner myself too. I do not get paid for sitting at some place for a certain amount of time. It's like today's session and stuff. I don't get paid for this. I get paid on my I don't get paid for the time frame that I'm sitting here. I get paid on my performances. I get paid on how well I produce. And so, that's what I talk about as far as understanding that business builders game and stuff. So let's look at this. We all do activities. Now, there are activities that help create business. There's activities that don't create business. Now, do I tell people, do you absolutely have to always do business building activities 100% of the time? No, you'd burn yourself out. But we have to look at the activities that we're doing that help create leads. And from those leads is where we nurture and we follow up, and we call them prospects or suspects. Well, those prospects we leads into appointments made. Now, do I wish that 100% of all of our appointments that we keep, all of our appointments stay on the books? No. Life happens. People get sick. People flake out. Life, things get rescheduled. Something comes up. Life happens. So out of the appointments made, how many appointments are you conducting? Now, do I 100% of the time that I sit down with somebody, do they become a client of mine? Honestly, no, and thank God. I'll share with you why. There's some people out there that say, oh, I want everybody I sit down with, I want everybody to be my customer. Trust me, no, you do not. Think about it. So who makes your best customer? Well, if you're sitting down with somebody and they're not your best customer, does it make sense for you to take them on as a client? Probably not. So, I want to know how many appointments I have to conduct to get my clients. Do all of my clients end up in, like in the real estate team, a close of escrow, or that we activities that equate to revenue for companies and stuff? I wish yes. The honest fact is no. So how many of those clients turns into contracts? So I want you to sit here and want you to look at, okay, what are your true numbers? And the really cool thing is we're meeting in January and stuff. It's really easy for you to set your numbers for the year 2017. So if you sit there and say, I want to make X amount of dollars per year, I want to make $120,000 per year. So that equates out to $10,000 per month. Well, what do I need per month? How many contracts do I need to get paid $10,000? Okay, now that if I need 10 contracts, they're at $1,000 a piece, then I can know that how many contracts I need. If I need one contract to get paid $10,000 a piece, then I know that aspect. Well, how many of those contracts do I need to get closed or get signed? How many clients do I need to get that amount of contracts? Now that I know how many clients that I need, how many appointments do I need to conduct to get that amount of clients? How many appointments do I need to make so that I actually have those true sit downs? I have those so that I actually conduct those appointments. How many leads do I need to have so that I know that I got so that I can make that amount of appointments? And what type of activities do I need to do so that I can get that number of leads? So if you're able to screen capture this, take out your phone, take a picture of your monitor, or obviously we should be getting a when we do the upload and stuff to our YouTube channel, definitely I want you to kind of look at this. And I really want you to think for a moment and really kind of dive into what is your business math. All right. The last thing I do every day is I do some daily planning and do some daily reflecting. I deal with the realities. I cut out the crap. I really, truly look at my performance that day. If it was somebody that worked for me and that was their performance for the day, would I hire them or would I fire them? Once you truly realize the value of your time, you will be amazed at how well you stay on target, you stay on track, and how well your activities start getting you great results. So I want to talk a little bit about our advanced next level training. It's an 8-week mastermind, business growth mastermind. Now, what are we going to do in this 8 weeks? We're going to get your business on the fast track. We're going to really help you dive in and how to generate leads, how to follow up with leads, and the most important thing is converting those leads to paying clients or customers. To literally have a spreadsheet or a CRM or a stack of business cards, and you say, here are my leads, but we're doing nothing to convert them into actual true customers or clients. It's crap. It's basically you're playing an amateur game is what you're doing at that point. So what are we going to cover in this 8 weeks of hardcore in-depth training? Our first week of stuff, we're going to be discovering your why, and you're going to help you understand the true value of time. And we're also in that is we're going to help you put in a strategy of how to set up every business day, every professional day for absolute success. I'm actually going to spend 2 weeks on kind of the roadmap to the sale. We're going to really dive into the sales process. And I find it funny. Most people, they want great closing techniques. And I tell them, it's like, if you really dive into and you really understand the roadmap to the sale, and keep in mind, it doesn't matter if your job title has a description of sales, you understand perfectly. But also it's like, okay, if your job title, let's say you're an attorney or a CPA or a chiropractor or a dentist, that's for marketing, guess what? You're in sales too. But if you understand how to take your prospect down this roadmap, you don't need any fancy closing techniques. At that point in time, you've discovered what product they need to be on, what product's going or service is going to solve their problem, is going to take care of their issue, and there is no closing technique or anything like that you need, because you're solving the problem. At that point, it's just merely figuring out how to get everything in place for you to solve their problem. We're gonna, from there, we're going to talk about networking and prospecting, how to get out. I mean, I know where this class is dealing with social media, so it's kind of like hey, how do we stay behind the screens and stuff? Well, to a certain extent, to take your business, anybody who wants to take their business to the next level, you need to get out into the community. And how do you network, and how do you prospect, and how do you build a true connection with people? We're going to really dive in and build into that social media platform and stuff. We're going to go really in depth. You're going to see kind of how how I set up splash pages, how we set up advertisements, how we track our ad revenues and stuff, how we determine, if to keep an ad or to cut an ad. We're going to go into phone calling techniques. We're going to, from there, deal with follow-up strategies. How do you truly follow up with somebody to where you're not that pushy, aggressive person, but now you're their friend. You're building that connection. You're kind of, even maybe doing that little nudge marketing. And then from that aspect, you're going to get into generating referrals, because if you're getting no referrals, you're continuously reliving your first year of business, year in and year out. There's this huge lie out there in the sales training world of starting January 1st or starting your next quarter, everybody starts back at zero. And that's pure bullshit. If that's what your business philosophy, if that's what your business model is, you're in a bad business model, because you should start every new year or every new quarter, however you set your sales cycle as, okay, here's my sphere. Here are the people that are, here are my referral partners, and here are the people that are comfortable sending business my way. You should know that. I mean, literally, that should be kind of built into. You should have that understanding. So each week is between 60 and 90 minutes of live virtual training. It's not recorded. We're going to, have in-depth question and answer period. You're going to have a private Facebook group with just other mastermind members. Now, one thing I love about these private groups is it's a great place so you can answer questions. It's a great way to network. And I'm going to be honest with you, some of my best growth relationships have come from groups like this. Some of my best friends and best counterparts have come from groups like this. Now, there's going to be weekly action items. This is boot camp style training. You're given assignments. You're held accountable. As I tell people, execution is the heartbeat of your business, and the second it stops is the second your business begins to die. So I tell people, it's funny. We live in this crazy world where people will go get themselves hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, spend 4+ years of their life to get this education. Think about this. Dentists, chiropractors, attorneys. I mean, they go spend all this huge money, get themselves massively in debt, and then they never, very rarely, if at all, do they ever get any training for them to go out there and actually learn how to build a business. They get this great level of training of how to provide a professional level service. And even those of us in the sales world, I mean, I have to look at our real estate, our real estate community and stuff. Our real estate community, they're learning to pass, they're trained, their education is how to pass a state and a national test. And, hopefully they get some good training as far as how to build a, marketing plan and stuff. But I mean, it's like they're trained on how to fill out forms. They're trained on how to fill out paperwork and stuff. They're not trained on how to promote themselves or market themselves. So, and I tell people, it's like for extremely small amount of money, you can learn the necessary steps, plus get the coaching on how to create your business market plan that honestly will help you generate a 7+ figure year income. So let's talk about the 8-week mastermind group. It's going to be with hardcore in-depth coaching, plus interaction inside Facebook group, along with daily access to me. Now, if you were to hire me and retain me for 8 weeks of this type of coaching, just this one-on-one coaching, in all honesty, it would be roughly about $3,600, just for a 1 week, for 8 weeks of our having us one-on-one interaction and stuff. So the beauty of masterminds is because it leverages the size financially to make sense for all. So obviously, we're not charging $3,600. The 8-week business mastermind is only $349. Now, we've all been through those programs and stuff, on our website, $19.95, but you're not paying that. You're not paying $14.95 or $9.95. Hey, I'm a very transparent person. You probably could, if you went onto our website before that, you saw this price, guess what? That's what the price is. So on top of that, you're also going to get a money back guarantee. So just like my real estate business and my coaching business, I back up my actions with performance guarantees. What that is, within 30 calendar days of our last training session, if you have done the work, you've attended each session, completed and show that you've done all the homework, action steps, and weekly commitment, and if you feel this program is not worth every penny, I'll refund the full amount and you get to keep all the content. Plain and simple. So I promise with 100% certainty, this will be the best investment that you've ever made in your career. This mastermind group, we're actually having 3 of these different sessions because we're having people coming across all over the U.S. so that all of our times here are in the Pacific Standard Time Zone. So it's, our first one actually starts Tuesday, January 24th at 6 p.m. And then we have our Wednesday sessions at, when January 25th, they, start at 12 noon and 2 p.m. Now, for the Wednesday session on March 1st, I actually have a commitment that day. So those sessions are actually going to be held on the Tuesday, the day prior, February 28th. All right. So $349. Let's think about that. That literally breaks down to $6.23 per day. So In all honesty, if you decide to pack your lunch every day for the next 8 weeks, the savings alone will have covered the training. So for those of you that are ready to register now, take some action and stuff, just go on to gregttraining.com, the same website that you use to register for this virtual training. Click on the mastermind groups, look for the buy now button. All right, with that, I am going to minimize out the screen here and see if we had any questions come up, anything of that aspect. Let me see here. Let's just go straight me and stuff. So we're coming up on the top of the hour. As I said, I like to kind of keep everything into that 1 hour interval and stuff. So any questions you have, feel free to just dump them into the box there. For those of you that wish that you could have had your team on this, or maybe a coworker or a referral partner, somebody like that on the same training call and stuff, we're actually going to be having another social media rock star next week. I want to say Wednesday, if I remember correctly. Don't hold me to that. Definitely go on to gregttraining.com to check out, when we're going to be having social media rock star. Tomorrow we're going to be having the roadmap to the sale. So tomorrow we're going to be going into that roadmap, that guided process that we use for all of our prospects, for all of our customers and all of our clients and stuff, that we kind of help guide them through that session stuff. So we make sure that we've got them on the right program and we got them on the right product and stuff, and we're solving their problem, as opposed to trying to push the product of the day or the product of the week. Also next week, we have lead generating and networking. So for those of you that are active, getting there to the chamber organizations or the leads group, how to truly build some connections and stuff. So interns that are coming, look here, feel free to write in. Other than if not, because we're getting to the top of the hour and stuff, thank you guys for joining us. And for those of you that are ready to to join us on our mastermind, just go to gregttraining.com, hit in masterminds, look for the buy now. It's you should see that, probably it's the second one down, because we just started in on our growth mastermind. And yeah, any other questions, anything of that aspect? Well, awesome, cool. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the training at the top of the hour. So I kind of like to keep these types of trainings at ish or so minutes. Thank you once again for joining us. Any questions that you have, feel free to reach out to us social media. Feel free to please subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you kind of see videos and stuff as we upload them and stuff, and get some great content and aspect. And stay connected with us. So on that, hope you guys are having a great day, and I will chat with you later.